Hello everyone! My Bach practice is really progressing, so I'm now at a point where I just play it 3 to 4 times a day in hopes that it'll improve, get a little bit more even still, and that the last difficult spots will smoothen and finally settle in my brain and get into my fingers. So I have a lot of time left now because I didn't have to spend all my practice time on Bach. And I decided I need a new challenge, something that brings me to and over new boundaries. And I decided to go for Brahms Waltz Opus 39, number 15, a waltz in A-flat major. I found it on pianosyllabus.com and it says it's piano standard 6, which is the same rating as Comme d'autres Traité, the Amelie soundtrack piece, which I found difficult at first to tackle down the left hand and also the quick part in the right hand. But once you have this, it's just a pattern that repeats over and over again. So it's not really that difficult. And once your fingers know what to do, this piece is really easy. So I'm in hopes that Brahms also might be difficult at first and then not too much later. I downloaded the sheet music from musescore.com. It's free. That's what it looks like. It has a lot of big chords in there, and that's something that I should definitely practice. And this is why I chose this piece, because I haven't trained so much to work on octaves like here, and also not on 4 finger chords. And you have them here in the left hand and also in the right hand, and even these are 5 tones in the right hand even. I checked if they are possible for me to play because I have small hands and they aren't bigger than an octave. So the difficult thing about them will be to sort all the other fingers in between the octave and make it possible to hit the right tones. But I am confident that this might be possible for my small hands. As you can see, I started to analyze the chords. I haven't done much yet. This is the first thing I am doing with all new pieces. I analyze the chord structure, and I do it by having a look at the circular fifth first. So we're in A flat major, and these are the chords that I'm expecting to have in this piece of music. So A flat major, E flat major, D flat major, F minor, C minor, and probably a B flat minor. And probably I wouldn't be too surprised if I'd find an F sharp major or a B flat major maybe. But yeah, we'll see how straightforward this one is. So I'm trying to analyze the music to see what's happening here and if there are certain repetitive patterns in there according to the chord changes. So probably it's like that always after an D flat major there will be an A flat major or something like that, because this helps me so that I don't have to read every single note, but that I can rely that when I see a D flat as a root tone, for example, that I know it's the chord and not something crazy happening there. And also it helps of course, if you want to learn it by heart, if you want to memorize it, to learn the chord structure. It is a waltz, and I love waltzes because usually the accompaniment patterns are quite straightforward. So I hope this will help me as well, not to get lost in my practice, but have some chances that I can tackle it. It's only 1 page, at least the sheet that I found is nicely arranged on the paper here on 1 page. And yeah, so the first thing that I'm gonna do now is write down the right chords, analyze them, and also I checked already in which era Brahms lived. The recordings that I remember sound very romantic, very soft, very kind of melancholic and dreamy, and I was right. So Brahms is a romantic composer. And this will also influence my practice, of course. I will surely have to practice chords, and when doing so, I will already at the very beginning start to bring a romantic kind of feeling, emotion in there, because then I do not have to apply this later on when the piece is under my fingers. Because sometimes it's really hard. When you start practicing and you are so confused about where your fingers go, and you practice that all the time, and all the music, all the musical aspects, the emotions totally get lost. And then you have it under your fingers and it sounds blunt and boring and aggressive, probably even. And then you have to re-find how you get the emotion into the piece. It can be really difficult because sometimes probably you practiced it legato and then you need a staccato part, and you have to really restart the whole thing again, because staccato feels so different than legato, and it's almost like practicing a totally new piece. So having romantic in my head already while practicing, I think will help me to practice with musicality and also have the practice sessions with a lot more fun, because even when you play it very slowly, it sounds like a piece of beautiful music. So I show you what I mean. The first chord, what a surprise, is an A flat major. And if it were Beethoven or Mozart or I don't know, I would just practice this chord to get used to the leap in between, to feel where it is. And also, because I'm working on my sight reading skills, I know that I should work on practicing to feel and know where the keys are without looking down. So this is something that I will implement here as well, to try to feel how much I have to jump, how big the leap is without looking down. Really difficult. Probably staccato. And slowly. Kind of like this. But as I know it's romantic, I already start to bring some romantic flavor into it. And to feel the softness in my fingers. So it's not this harsh, bouncy movement, but I'm not sure about the pedal, because the first note in each bar is a staccato note, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to put this into the pedal as well. I will surely listen to some recordings to know what I have to do. And I don't want to bore you now, because the things that I'm going to do today will be to play it very, very slowly from sheet to figure out which chords there are, and to practice the A flat major scale, which, because I'm really bad at playing scales, looks like this after I think 20 minutes of practicing it.